Do you suffer from acne breakouts on your chin, around the nose, around your eyes, but just doesn't seem to get better with acne treatment? In fact, it may be actually making it worse. Do you have sensitive skin or have a history of rosacea? Well, you may actually suffer from a condition called perioral dermatitis. So today, let's talk about what is perioral dermatitis, who's at risk for getting them, how to take care of your skin when you do have an active flare of perioral dermatitis, and when to see a dermatologist. Hi, my name is Dr. Jenny Liu. I'm a board-certified dermatologist in Minneapolis, and I love to talk about all things skin, hair, and nail related. So perioral dermatitis is one of the most common conditions I see as a dermatologist. The other name is periorificial dermatitis, namely because it occurs around the openings of our face. So most commonly around our mouth, but can also occur around the nose as well as around the eyelid. This is a potentially recurring inflammatory condition that look like tiny red bumps, that look like acne. We call it acneiform, but it's not truly acne in nature. Symptom-wise, sometimes they can burn, they can certainly itch. It just depends on the individual. Now, we don't actually truly know why perioral dermatitis occurs. We do know that there are certain associations. We tend to see them in individuals that have more sensitive skin or even rosacea-prone skin, and some dermatologists even view perioral dermatitis along that spectrum of rosacea. It can also be seen or overlap with another condition that we typically see occurring in individuals with rosacea, which is seborrheic dermatitis. Seborrheic dermatitis, you may be familiar with the term. It's essentially really bad inflammatory dandruff when it's on the scalp. But sebderm can also occur on our face as well as on our body. And on our face, classic areas would involve like the eyebrows, around the nose, the nasolabial fold, in men, like in that beard distribution. We do know that there are certain risk factors that can trigger perioral dermatitis, especially for individuals who are more prone to it. The biggest one that we think of is steroids. So corticosteroids, whether you take them orally as a prescription for a medical condition or inhaled corticosteroids, for example, in an inhaler to either treat your asthma or underlying reactive airway disease, as well as topical steroids that you may be prescribed by your doctor or even dermatologist to treat eczema and psoriasis. But that is a very well-known risk factor for triggering or causing perioral dermatitis. Individuals who are in masks all day, for example, like myself, healthcare workers, they may be also high risk because that friction from the mask as well as that just unique environment within the mask, the humidity and all of that will change the skin flora as well as affect your skin barrier. And so all these can be risk factors as well. Now, we also know that certain types of fluorinated toothpaste as well as potentially skincare products can play a major role as well. Now, the literature isn't as detailed when it's describing skincare products, mostly because I think it really is variable amongst individuals. What we do see in skincare products is often whatever the trigger is, it's causing essentially skin irritation. So, everybody's skin is different, but if a product you're using is irritating you, that could potentially be a trigger because it's disrupting your skin barrier. Whether that's using the wrong product or just using too many products at once, hoping that you would get rid of the problem, but ultimately you're just adding more fuel to the fire. So first things first, because this is skin irritation, the first thing you want to do essentially is stop everything that you're putting on your skin. It may be hard for you to identify the trigger, so here essentially stop everything. And if you are not using gentle skincare products, make that switch right now. And really the only things you should be using is a gentle cleanser, a moisturizer, and a mineral-based sunscreen. Remove everything else from your routine until your skin is better. And then when it is better, you can slowly introduce one product back at a time, maybe over the course of like a week or two, see how your skin is doing, and then go from there. Now, I'll say that if you are prone to perioral dermatitis, this is one situation where I do recommend minimizing and simplifying your skin routine is going to be the best for you. So what are some of the products I recommend? Well, there are great, honestly, over-the-counter drugstore skincare products that I just routinely recommend to my patients who suffer from perioral dermatitis. I think you really don't need to be spending a lot of money. In fact, some of the stuff that you spend a lot of money on may actually be going against your skin because of potentially a fragrance or essential oil or what have you in the product. So again, this is where sticking to products that are going to be fragrant fragrance-free and formulated with more sensitive skin is really gonna be key. So a gentle cleanser. One that I really like, the Cetaphil newly formulated gentle skin cleanser. This is for dry to normal and sensitive skin. And this has their new formulation of vitamin B3, B5, glycerin, and it's just a nice non-foaming cleanser. And it's so gentle, you can actually use it as a waterless cleanse, meaning you can just massage on your skin and wipe it off gently with a damp cloth. You essentially don't even need water, especially if you find yourself with your active perioral dermatitis that even water may sting your skin. But something that's gonna be ideally less foaming, because foam again can be more stripping of your skin's natural oil. Something that's non-foaming, more of a creamy cleanser to gently remove everything. And if you do wear a lot of makeup, I would say this may be a period where you may want to hold off on wearing a lot of foundation and concealer. As much as you would like to use them to cover up your breakouts, less is more when it comes to really helping your skin recover from perioral dermatitis. Then is just a moisturizer. Now here, I do recommend picking one that is going to work well with your skin, but something that's not going to be too heavy or occlusive. Again, trying to avoid any sort of occlusion with maybe heavy petrolatum based products that may be driving those irritated ingredients deeper into your skin. So the two that I highly recommend, the Roche-Posay Toleriane Double Repair Facial Moisturizer or the Cetaphil Facial Moisturizing Lotion. Both of these are great formulations. I think you may want to stay away from gel creams because they often contain more water and sometimes even alcohol in its formulation, and that can burn on your skin, and that burning can further cause more aggravation in your skin. So going with a lighter lotion or cream may be more soothing and less irritating. Actually, another one I really like from Vanicream, their facial moisturizer that is also great for sensitive skin. Vanicream is a line that I recommend a lot to individuals who have more sensitive skin or history of contact dermatitis that have allergies to certain ingredients. Now, if you have more dry skin, two little slightly richer moisturizers that I recommend that I don't feel is too heavy or occlusive. Another one from La Roche-Posay. This is actually one of my all-time favorites from them, and it's the Toleriane Soothing Repair Moisturizer. I wish this came in a bigger bottle because literally this only lasts me like a month if I were to use it every day. But this is slightly richer than the Toleriane Double Repair, but it's still very soothing. Of all the times I've used it, it doesn't cause any burning on my skin, even when my skin is super inflamed and irritated. This contains shea butter, glycerin, great ingredients to help repair the skin barrier, and shea butter is going to act as what we call an inclusive category of ingredients to help minimize transepidermal water loss, because you do need an occlusive in your moisturizers to prevent that, but it's not as occlusive as petrolatum, so this would be a great substitute. Glycerin again helps to hydrate your skin barrier, also contains an ingredient, a peptide called neurosensing that La Roche-Posay actually have done quite a bit of clinical studies that have been shown to really help with rosacea sensitive skin to reduce that burning and skin irritation sensation. So I love this one, and I personally do find it to be the least irritating on my skin when my skin is just unhappy. Another one that's very similar for just like a few bucks more is from Avène, their Tolerance Comfort, and it's like a recovery balm that comes in two formulations for reactive skin, so inflamed skin, and also for dry and reactive skin, which is what I have. And it's very similar in texture to the La Roche-Posay Toleriane Ultra, and it's got ingredients again that is going to be calming and soothing, as well as a blend of fatty acids and lipids, as well as squalane that's going to act as ingredients to help minimize water loss and to help nourish the skin barrier. And what I like about this one is that it comes in what's called a sterile bottle pump, and so there's actually no preservatives in here. How they design it and the way it's designed with this pump is that every time you pump, it just dispenses product but doesn't allow any sort of contaminants to go in here. And sorry, since I mentioned that, I should also mention that this one is also in a very similar design where it's a pump that dispenses product without the use of additional preservatives. And lastly is you want to use sunscreen. Ultraviolet radiation will just cause more damage on your skin, and so this is where again the best sunscreen is going to be the one that you like, that works well for your skin. And by all means, if you're using a sunscreen that's working well and you don't find it to cause additional burning redness after use, continue. But for most individuals, changing from whatever sunscreen you have to a pure mineral based sunscreen is really going to be the least irritating. You can certainly check out one of my favorites right now, which is Eltamd. This is UV Restore. I really like this one because it's very hydrating, and especially right now in Minneapolis where we're kind of just getting to the end of winter, and with me being a mask all day, day, I find that I need something a little bit more nourishing in my moisturizer. Now, if you are more oily skin, one moisturizer that is mineral based that I really like, that's very fast absorbing and mattifying, is from La Roche-Posay. And Anthelios Fluid, the one that comes in a bottle that you kind of have to shake, that one I really like. But when you do shop, make sure to read the ingredients, because that sunscreen actually comes in a chemical formulation as well as a mineral formulation. So just make sure that you pick the zinc and titanium only one. So for most mild cases of perioral dermatitis, making that switch, stopping your actives and going with only gentle skincare products and just sticking to the essentials of skincare. Give your skin some time, give it a few weeks to a month, and it should go away. Now, if it doesn't, or if you have severe cases of perioral dermatitis, this is when you should see a dermatologist. Prescription medications, whether it's topical and or in combination with oral medications, are really going to be the most effective and the quickest way to get rid of everything. Now, when things are better, this is where you have to be very careful. You can't just restart everything at once. Again, slowly reintroducing whatever products you were using that you enjoyed using, but one at a time, slowly over the course of weeks to a month. And obviously, if you are noticing certain products are causing more irritation, definitely remove them from your routine. All right, guys, so that's my quick little spiel on perioral dermatitis. I truly hope you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, please comment below. Again, with all things, if you are suffering from a condition and it's just not getting better with some of the changes you're making at home, please see a dermatologist for proper assessment and best treatment, because maybe something else is going on. If you have any questions about this condition or the products I mentioned, please comment below or let me know what other topics you would like me to talk about. Again, thank you so much for watching. You can find me on my other social media accounts here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!